Hello everybody, Ben Algis here, the Raptors guy, just reacting to the Toronto Raptors 119-106 loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. And once again, the Toronto Raptors, they have their moments. They have a couple of shining performances, but cannot get the job done. And they string our hearts along, right? They make it an ugly game. They make it a tough watch. They just make you depressed for the first, three quarters or so. Then, maybe late in the third, early in the fourth, they go on this miraculous run that looks like, oh man, gives you flashbacks of that Dallas Mavericks game we had, in 2020, 2019, and Kyle Lowry, Norman Powell were on the squad. We played a Porzingis-led Mavericks team, and we made that comeback, and we say, oh, maybe it'll happen again. And then, no. We just absolutely sell it when another team calls a timeout, another team brings their starters back in, right? All these fake comebacks. It's getting tough at this point. It is getting tough at this point. And, we're having another one of these Raptors therapy sessions, and they're getting tougher. They're getting tougher and tougher by the day, by the loss, right? We're trying to get rid of those tanks. I don't want to be in tank mode just yet. I see Marcel saying, got this team. Mile High 6 is saying, it's time to start rebuilding. But while I'm not absolutely stuck in the stand, opposed to a rebuild for this Raptors squad, there is one thing that we desperately need to fix. And watching it tonight, it's on display. It's something we've needed to fix. We've been running the test for 2.5 seasons now. 2.5 seasons we've been running it without a proper big man to just clog the paint, to stand in front of guys like Steven Adams, to stand in front of guys like Joel Embiid, to stand in front of guys like Brook Lopez, so we don't have to run three guys boxing out every other team's single center, right? Christian Coloco's great. He is going to be a very good NBA player, if not great. But he's still a couple years away from really filling out into his frame and be able to match up with the likes of Steven Adams. He is not our answer as our 7-foot center. We need a grown man. We need someone that can properly get into the paint, because especially in the first half and through moments in the third, when Steven Adams wanted to. He's a very nice, jolly guy. He's knocking people over, picking them back up, giving them hugs and all that sort of stuff, right? But when he wants to get offensive rebounds, he did every single time in this game against the Toronto Raptors. I mean, how many boards did he have in this game? 17 rebounds for Steven Adams in this one, and 8 of them were offensive. 8 of them were offensive in this game. So that is brutal. Habs Digest is saying the Raptors loss is not as bad as the Habs tonight. You know what, Habs Digest? You know what, Josh? It's worse. It's worse because the Toronto Raptors right now, we're stuck in the middle. We don't have a direction. Are we winning? Are we losing? Are we tanking? What the heck is going on with this squad? And they bait us. They keep doing stuff with everything at this point, and I don't know. It's tough. Kenneth Lau is saying, yes, we are closer to the bottom than the top, so tanking is easier than winning. But as Sharpshooter's saying, we have Siakam, who needs some help on the squad, and very rarely do you have seasons such as what Pascal Siakam is providing to the squad right now. I mean, we looked at his stats earlier in the video today. I think I still have them up, right? I think these are Pascal's stats. Yeah, they're coming up here now. Right, Pascal is averaging 27, 9, and 7 on pretty efficient shooting splits. Right, he's getting compared to Giannis and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't make sense to tank when you have guys like that on your roster. We have a core group of players that are good. We have some great individual talents, but things just don't fit because, one, we don't have a big man. We don't have a big to really rely upon having the paint to stick in front of guys like Steven Adams. Steven Adams should not be just absolutely making our guys look like children out there. We shouldn't be having to run our defensive sets to run 3 guys to almost tackle Steven Adams to close a defensive possession. He still gets the rebound and kicks out to an open shooter, an open 3. That's a part of the reason our 3-point shots are so bad, and the reason that, we're over helping. And Nick Nurse came out and said, we're the Raptors aren't running any traps. They're not running any of this. And he's pretty defensive about those comments in a post game recently. I didn't address in the news video today, or I probably should have, but the reason it looks like you're trapping Nick Nurse, the reason why it feels like, to the average fan, to the average reporter, to the average beat reporter, it's not because they're stupid and they can't see what's running. It's because you are running multiple players, to close defensive possessions, to close help. Yes, it might not be a direct trap. Yes, you might not be getting the ball out of the hands like Joel Embiid is saying to people, in that low block. But what you have to do? Right? When that help comes, you don't have a guy that you can reliably say, okay, I got your back, Fred VanVleet. I got your back, Gary Trent Jr. If you make that drive, I'm going to block this shot. I'm going to be there for the contest. No, we need to run 1, 2, 3, 4 guys to collapse into the lane in order to have any chance at locking down a blow-by and any chance of protecting the rim if anyone gets to the rim. So that's where our defensive issues are coming from. It's not because Nick Nurse is running any wild traps, and I'm not even blaming Nick Nurse for the defensive systems. I get why he's being defensive, but it's literally our schematics right now. It's our scheme. We don't have a big back there to really contest shots and get things going. Kenneth Lau saying Wemby would be good. You know, send him to a contender, Marcel is saying. And it's tough. And Ryan, these are reaction podcasts. Crazy how emotional everyone gets for wins and losses, but you know, you're supposed to react to this stuff, and the Toronto Raptors it's just tough. It's just a tough game in this. And I'm not saying tank. I'm not going all out in the direction of, okay, let's tank this squad, let's tank this this team right now, right? But I do think we do need a retool, and I've locked it in. I booked it. I think a trade will be coming, and all the reports came out that were coming out over the past month have said that the Toronto Raptors probably around mid-January is when decisions will be made about this roster, because injuries, we haven't had a good amount of time to really see the impact of this team, to see how everything's going. So I don't know. It is what it is. We'll see what ends up happening on that front. We got a super chat coming in from Marcel, the GOAT, saying, in my honest opinion, we have a playmaking issue. Our shooters can't get good looks. We never have high assists. And our PGs get outplayed almost every game. And Marcel, you the GOAT, obviously. But appreciate the super chat. But you're right. And I'm going to get into the playmaking stuff. Because as you see in the title, free Jeff Dowtin is in there in the title. Because there was a stretch, one of those Raptors fake comebacks where we weren't running isolation basketball 24/7. And I made this sort of discussion following the LA Clippers loss, that Norman Powell's a guy, he's a spot-up shooter. You can compare whether or not he's better than Gary Trent Jr., right? Probably in a vacuum, the star boy, given his age, given his, defensive prowess, all this sort of stuff, right? Gary Trent Jr. is probably a better player than Norman Powell in a vacuum. But Norman Powell is an amazing spot-up shooter. Norman Powell isn't a guy that, sure, he occasionally can take some weird lays and stuff, but he's not a ball stopper. Norman Powell wasn't a dude that, was going to dribble out, take a lot of these weird sort of mid-range jump shots, right? Norman Powell's going to get his shots within the flow of the offense. He's going to spot up, space the floor, right? Do these sorts of things, right? Right now we have Fred VanVleet, who didn't play tonight. Gary Trent Jr., who's trying to create sort of for himself, not really swinging that basketball a bunch. I'm not saying any of these guys are ball hogs, but they're guys that sort of have that ball in their hand when they create. We have Pascal Siakam, who certainly deserves to create some shots and stuff. OG Anunoby, who is sort of that spot-up guy, but this season has taken more of a driving, attacking role, but he's not really in that ball-stopping area, right? It's I don't know. Having those spot-up shooters, having those guys to space the floor, it would be key for this squad. I don't know what I'm ranting on, but Marcel, I agree with your take. But I have more faith in Riker coming back than the Raptors turning around. Wild stuff. But man, it's wild. But honestly, I'm just ranting about this game. I'll break down some of the box score stuff that's happening. Pascal, once again in this game, was doing all he could, and that's why I'm not on Team Tank. I'm not going full out. Let's blow up the squad, because 25 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block on a night where he's being guarded by the likes of one of the best team defenses in the NBA, one of the best shot blockers in the NBA, and Jaren Jackson Jr., right? That's a tough team to get buckets on at Pascal's position. He's playing amazing in this one. So I'm not on selling the squad. I'm not on tanking the team there if Pascal's playing that well. But some could argue, and I could be swayed, saying this is the perfect time to sell high on Pascal Siakam. Right, he's had ups and downs throughout his career, throughout his season. Now you want to sell high on the stock, and fair enough. If you want to go in that direction, we could definitely get some insane value for Pascal Siakam right now. But I'd prefer to keep this level of talent on the roster and sort of retool, even if it does mean a short-term tank. But that's sort of what's happened on that front. Then OG Anunoby again did his best. 16 points. I'm not disappointed in OG, even though more shots could have gone down. Scotty Barnes in this one, you know what? I'll give it out. They're less fun this season, but Scotty Barnes are good. Going to the guy that had the biggest jump from the first half to the second half in this game. And Scotty Barnes in this one sucked. Was not good. Was not looking for a shot in the first half. Bad look. But second half, amazing. Attacking the basket, looking intense, looking in the game, or engaged into this performance, playing defense, running the floor, getting rebounds, being the garbage man. Scotty Barnes, getting the Scotty Barnes award for that second half of action, right? And you look at the stats, right? 14 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. I think all those points came in the second half, right? He shows off that potential, a whole bunch, but he needs to get that stuff rocking. So it's, yeah, Paul Blunt saying trade Pascal, no way, no how. Completely agree. Like, some people are saying it. Like, I want to give validity. I don't think people are stupid for saying sell high, but I'm not doing it. I'm not going in that direction. Scotty bounced back. You'll love to see that there. Right, run through the box score. Gary Trent Jr. was great off the bench as well. Hit his shots, 5 of 7 from the three-point line, which was essential. 20 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Right, we got some solid performances from this team. We got some good outputs from this Toronto Raptors roster. And, you know, I'll run through everyone. Right, Juancho, the cruise missile, continues to struggle. I won't get into him too much. Koloko, show him moments, but he's still a pretty raw center. But, you know, yeah, Kem Birch gives some decent minutes. But the two guys I want to highlight that I want to really draw attention to coming into this post game was one, Chris Boucher, who we know has his ups and downs. He's inconsistent, he's streaky. Nick Nurse called him out. I broke that down in the video today. But after the call out, only 20 minutes of action. Chris Boucher was really great. 13 points in this one, 7 rebounds, 5 of 7 from the field, just hustling, doing everything he can to get out there on the line, get out there, get his run back, get his spot in the rotation. He played well. He answered the call from Nick Nurse, and shout out to Chris Boucher. Obviously, we'd like to see a few more threes go down. He knocked one down today, which was nice, but I'm not complaining about Chris Boucher's performance in this one, but one guy that I really want to just address, that I want to rant on, and I want, you know what, to give a big, gigantic golden kazoo to. It's I'm talking about Jeff Dowtin Jr. right now, but the kazoo's not going to him. It's going to Nick Nurse, because I've been screaming, I've been ranting, I've been talking on these videos. Give Jeff Dowtin an opportunity. Give this man a chance. And you know what? Got extended run there in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth. Subbed in. You know what happened? Toronto Raptors go on a run. Did Jeff Dowtin sell a couple layups? Potentially. Did he miss, a couple of those? But the level of energy this guy brings, the level of defensive impact, he's long, he's fast. His decision-making is impeccable from everything we've seen from this dude. Preseason, short stints in the actual season this year, especially Summer League and the Raptors 905. This guy really makes mistakes out there on the basketball court. Just always making solid decisions. Yes, he sold a couple layups in this one, but he was getting to the rim. They were in positions where it was like, even if you missed it, you're in such a good spot that there would be an offensive rebound there to finish for you, right? Like, Jeff Dowtin Jr. is playing elite basketball, and you can't expect a guy that's coming in after, 2 months of not getting actual NBA minutes, right? Bit of garbage time maybe, but actual, competitive basketball, right? Ask him to be perfect, polished and all that sort of stuff. That's tough, right? And you're a little bit engaged, you're a little bit this, but that's why you need to give him an extended run. And you know what? Everything he was doing out there was impeccable in terms of what you could expect for a guy that hasn't played in 2 months, an actual rotation minute since preseason, it feels like. And the Raptors went on a run. Jeff Dowtin Jr., he was a +8 in this game, with the exception of Chris Boucher, had the highest plus-minus for the Toronto Raptors, and was a key reason the Toronto Raptors were swinging the basketball, were aggressive on defense, right? He was on that wing, not getting blown by, and you gotta give credit to a man providing those minutes. And now another guy that I like is out of the doghouse because he's playing well, and tonight didn't have the greatest box score, right? Malachi Flynn, 2 of 12, 1 of 7 from the three-point line, 30 minutes of action for Malachi Flynn, and 6 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. I'm not disappointed in Malachi Flynn's play at all. Yes, the shots could go down a little bit more. He had 1 3, which was nice there at the end, but I'm not mad at Malachi Flynn. But when Jeff Dowtin's coming in, and you sub him out because of a stupid missed layup, it felt like, and you leave Malachi Flynn in there, who hasn't been hitting shots, who hasn't been this, even leave Malachi Flynn in there. I know you need to get Gary Trent Jr. back, but, keep the lineups in there that are working. right? Don't take out players when they're on a run on their own and just ruin a thing that's sort of rolling there in the fourth quarter. Right, the Toronto Raptors were playing faster. We were moving that basketball. We were doing everything we need to do to get back in the game. And then Nick Nurse takes out Jeff Dowtin. Toronto Raptors, it was like a 7-0 run for the Grizzlies. The game felt out of reach again. Another one of those fake comebacks. And tonight, a big, golden, loud kazoo. It's going to Nick Nurse, who is people are down on. Now, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of fire this man and get all that stuff. But, He makes some interesting rotation decisions. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say this season. And all I'm saying, he might be right, because Nick Nurse surely has a much more genius basketball mind than myself or anyone else, right? He's literally gets paid millions of dollars to coach professional basketball players. He knows who's playing well in practice. He knows who's doing well. But common sense comes out. It has to come out to a certain extent to say, a player's not going to excel. They're not going to develop. They're not going to show themselves if you just give them 5 minutes of action. They're not going to do it. You could play, whether it's grade 3 girls basketball, whether it's high school varsity, whether it's college, or whether it's the NBA. You give them 5 to 9 minutes of action, especially in stints of 2 to 3 minutes, they're not going to do anything. Give Jeff Dowtin a couple games where he can play 15 to 20 minutes, get out there on the court, get a sweat going, and see what he can do. Because tonight, I thought he played great. I hope he earns a spot in the rotation, at least for the next couple of games. Let him play through a missed layup or two. Let him play for maybe a bad turnover and stuff, getting adjusted to the high-level NBA competition. Right? Let him play through a couple of those, and sure, guarantee him, put it in his head. Yo, Jeff, you're playing 20 minutes tonight. See what you can do. Play out there with Malachi, because we need to take a load off the minutes, right? Fred VanVleet's out there dealing with back issues right now because he's carrying the squad in terms of 40 minutes a night. Regardless if he's playing well or not, he's out there doing everything out there on the court for the Toronto Raptors, right? Pascal, OG Anunoby, these dudes, and another reason I titled this video, one thing the Raptors must change, especially when we're playing against teams like the Grizzlies with Steven Adams. Steven Adams is not a dirty player, but that is a big mountain of a man, and he's shoving people out of the way. He wants those rebounds. And to ask OG Anunoby, who's a small forward, Pascal Siakam, who's a thin-framed power forward, to essentially double team Steven Adams in terms of boxing out, trying to bully him out of the way, you're taking two of our better wing on-ball defenders, right? Two very mobile, long, wiry, athletic guys. OG's strong and long, right? But two guys out of their regular positions to say, hey, rather than being able to close out to shooters, rather than being to do what you do best on the defensive end, you are now going to be put in a position where we usually would have a 7-foot Gronk down there trying to bully with Steven Adams. You are going to have to use your strength and stuff to really play bully ball, right? It's like, an analogy on the offensive end. It's like, the Raptors signed Steph Curry. They bring him in to be on the Toronto Raptors, but Nick Nurse decides, or Masai Ujiri, given the roster construction says, okay, Steph Curry, you got to play center right now. We want you in the dunker position. Sure, you can do it. You're probably capable because you're one of the world's best basketball players. I'm sure you got post footwork, but you're just not doing what you're best suited to do, the most value you could provide for this team. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And 7-footers are injury prone. That's true. That's why you need a couple. We got Koloko there. That's more of insurance, right? And Precious Chua being out is hurting the Toronto Raptors defense right now. I think Sports Illustrated did a little article regarding that recently. So there's all that sort of stuff, but I don't know. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. The Toronto Raptors running this right now. But we also have a moment of the game. But tonight the OGs play the day. There's a moment in this one where the ball was on the floor during the Raptors comeback run. Right, the ball was going everywhere. It ended up going through 4 or 5 Raptors' hands, and the ball popped out. Ended up going to, I forget who it was. I think Malachi Flynn ended up finishing a lay. It was pretty exciting stuff there. But I'm throwing out the segments all randomly this one. I'm disjointed. I'm flustered. I'm frustrated. Scooby-Doo saying, "Sign Ben. We need shooters." Boys, I'll get picked up. I'll take it. Nick Nurse, if you need someone to come out and be an extremely streaky 3-point shooter, more streaky than Flynn, more streaky than Terrence Ross, right? Come out. I can give you 10 threes right in a row, or I will sell 15 open ones. That's what I do. That's what I do best. So if you need someone like that, Nick Nurse. I would definitely be the absolute opposite of what the Toronto Raptors need. Actually, maybe not. I give the spacing. Swing the basketball a bunch. A few passing. I'd up the passing on the team. We'll see what happens. But Otto's still hurt. Precious is still hurt. It's a tough look. But I want to see what you guys have to say about this game. What are people feeling? But Jakob could help, but I'm not offering 2 first-round picks. Completely agree, Matt T. Definitely don't want to offer 2 picks, but he would definitely help. Sign Miles Bridges. We'll stay away from Miles Bridges. That's not the direction we're going in. But too many players putting up poor effort and energy to blame Nick Nurse, in my opinion. But it's definitely easier to get rid of the coach than it is to get rid of players. But yeah, I'm not blaming Nick Nurse. I'm not blaming Nick Nurse on our losses. I'm not blaming anyone in particular. Things are just not working right now, and they need to be fixed. Get us a big that can play. We have talent on this roster. We have a talented coach. We're running schemes that we just can't execute on. Big reason for it is because we can't defensive rebound. We can't do any of these things. So, yeah, Koloko's developing. He's not ready yet. Exactly. We can't be asking Koloko to come out here. It's like Pascal in his rookie season. He was asked to be a starter. He was asked to be one of those guys that was, coming in, night out for the first half of the season. Just wasn't doing it. We had Jarrett Solinger as the starting power forward, and then he got injured and stuff. Like, he could be good. Koloko could be good, but he might take some time. And Paul Blunt coming in with the super chat saying, we thought we had a top prospect in Gary Trent Jr. We have the reigning rookie of the year. We thought we had another all-star in Fred VanVleet, but all have been a bust. Not Nurse's fault. And that's fair. I think Nick Nurse definitely deserves some blame. I appreciate the super chat as well. Shout out for being a member for 14 months, Paul Blunt. Legend. But I think Nick Nurse definitely deserves criticism. That's what these reactions are for. They're for us to overreact, to see what we're seeing out there on the court, to react to these games. I think Nick Nurse definitely deserves criticism, especially for some of his rotations and stuff, some of the weird overhelping schemes, but a lot of that does have to do with roster construction. We're going to get killed in the offensive glass. We don't throw 2 guys at Steven Adams's of the world, the Jaren Jacksons of the world, but then, you throw 2 guys on them there, they get the rebound, they get a steal or something, then threes are open, right? So it's catch-22. Blame just goes on Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster. Blame goes on some players for underperforming. And tonight, 3-point shooting wasn't great. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't as horrible as it's been. 36% from the 3-point line. It's not bad. Gary Trent Jr. did a lot of the load on that front. OG Anunoby hit a couple, but the rest of the team could have knocked down some more, right? Everyone deserves blame in these losses. Heck, the Raptors Digest for failing to slug out some of these live streams post losses, right? We take some of the blame too, so I don't know. I'm not out here for throwing negative vibes, but we're reacting to these games. We're out here for give the opinions, but people are saying sign DeMarcus. I've seen a lot of signed Dwight Howards. People want Dwight Howard or DeMarcus Cousins. I don't know. We need some defense. 15-17 is crazy. Went 15-17. OG Anunoby. OG's our guy. Why didn't the Raptors GM get a big man last year during the offseason? I don't know. We were wanting it. You were calling for it, but I guess we got Koloko, but he's not ready yet. He's not there yet. But what would you do if we signed Miles Bridges? Like, Miles Bridges would be great in terms of basketball-wise, but we still don't know what's happening off the court. And I haven't been keeping up to date on this. I think he got... I don't know. I don't know what's on the go with Miles Bridges stuff, so... But he's a good basketball player, but I just tend to stay away from all the off the court drama, regardless of what's happening. But Otto's literally a 3-and-D that we need. Trade someone who can't shoot. Yeah, I'm definitely not trading Otto Porter Jr. And even if the guy just doesn't play this season, I think we bring him back. He's exactly the type of player we need when he's healthy, of course. But do you think we buy or sell at the trade deadline? Rod, I think it depends on what is on the table. If we get like a miraculous offer for Pascal Siakam, for Gary Trent Jr., for Fred VanVleet. Like, I'm talking prospects galore, unprotected picks galore. Just setting your team up for as an absolute gold mine for the next 3 to 5 seasons. I could see us being sellers. However, if a tremendous, just overwhelming offer is not on the table, I honestly think we're buyers. I think we're not Masai Ujiri's not about wasting away a Pascal Siakam season such as this one, right? We get a big, even if it's younger guys, like we could potentially sell minor and then do our work in the off season, but it's yeah, it's what's happening. I don't know. People bringing up Miles Bridges doesn't solve anything. He's a good player, like basketball wise, but he has a court hearing last I heard. Yeah, I'm not sure what's on the go, but Boucher still made defensive mistakes. Yeah, he was okay though. I like the energy he brought, but just got better in the offseason. I was hyped for this offseason because he just got better in the offseason. Trent has gone 100%. Yeah, and that's my my prediction. I booked it in. I'm predicting a trade will be made. One of my takes, I might even just throw it in the red. The top 3 seed is looking like a bad. I might have to just sell on this one right now, but a trade will be made come the deadline. I think a deal will be done, whether it be for a buy now, for a win now, or for a not win now. We'll see what ends up happening on these takes, but I'm 1 for 1 in terms of predictions I could be taking, but my top 3 seed is not looking too hot. But if you guys want to make predictions on this Toronto Raptors team, right now it's looking like a safe bet to probably bet against the Toronto Raptors right now. Easy way to make money. Not financial advice, whatever's going on. But, definitely check out CoolBet. They're the best sports book across Canada. They're regulated all across Canada. And you can bet on every Toronto Raptors game, every NBA game, pretty well any sport that you're interested in, betting on, gambling on, making the game more exciting. You can do that at CoolBet. Use the link down below. You can sign up, and we'll add you to our Discord. Right, let myself or Goody know on IG, Discord, whatever's happening. We'll add you to the CoolBetters Discord chat, and you can talk some lines with the Toronto Raptors, and especially come trade season, they're gonna get pretty exciting as well. So definitely sign up for CoolBet. Check it out down in the link below. But Paul Blunt's coming in with the super chat saying, time to bring back the push for Stinky Pinky. And man, last trade deadline, Stinky Pinky was acquired for Spencer Dinwiddie, whose value was absolutely trash. He was feuding with teammates who was this, that, and whatever. Dinwiddie's been good for the Mavericks, but his value was in the dumpster. And then Davis Bertans, who's still one of the worst contracts in NBA history. That's what Stinky Pinky was traded for. Could we not have gotten him last season? Could we even still get him at this point? Would you guys trade Gary Trent Jr. for Stinky Pinky? Let me know. For people that don't know, Stinky Pinky is Kristaps Porzingis. But trade for Zach LaVine, I don't know. Remember the Giannis rumors? Boy, do I. We're the ones pushing all the Giannis rumors as much as we could. We tried to speak into existence, but unfortunately it didn't come true. But we need to make a trade now, or we ain't making the playoffs. Playing like this, Pascal needs more help. 100%. Keep OG, keep Pascal, keep Scotty. Then just see what else. I keep Precious too. Keep Precious too. I'm on the Precious propaganda wagon. I don't care if it's a tough season for him. If he had a cold start or whatever. I'm not selling low on Precious. I'm also not on the boat of selling low on Fred VanVleet. But if it happens, I'm not opposed to a big deal going down. But why? Raps fan, you're always out here sending some weird comments. But why fight for the playoffs, only lose to Boston, Milwaukee? Because we sweep in the Milwaukee Bucks. That's my take. But look at the numbers. What's happened? Danny Green was on the Grizzlies. Is he on the Grizzlies right now? Interesting. Yeah, he's injured. He's injured for all the season. So that's how that goes. It's a tough look. Tough look for this Toronto Raptors team. But folks, I need to catch some Z's. I'm getting tired here now. But you guys are the best to make it this far. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. All the news coming. We deliver pretty well daily. Sign up for CoolBet. Supports the channel big time. It's the best sports book. I know a lot of people are asking about sports gambling content. You can use our link down below to sign up for CoolBet. Helps us out big time. Make sure you use the link down below as well. But anyways, it's enough of me rambling. You guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.